Hey guys. In one of my previous videos, I had touched on the concept of light worker and what that really means to be of the light or of the knowledge that everything is the one thing since it created everything, and that therefore everything is sacred. And we work with the understanding that everything is sacred, and so therefore all of the adversities that we experience in our reality, we would be still working with the knowledge that everything is sacred, and we look to contribute and respond appropriately in alignment with that knowledge. So I had a student who said, well, if everything is sacred, that means that evil is also sacred, and that means that all these atrocities that are happening on the planet right now is still sacred. Yes, in the grand scheme of things. However, let me try to explain a little bit how I currently understand it. The adversity that we're experiencing for those of us who are looking to contribute and to give of ourselves, those adversities are actually gifts. The evil, if you will, that is happening on this planet by the evil people, if you will, or evil aliens, if you're into that school of thought, is allowed to exist at this density. Now, density is a term used to explain in linear lingo the level of consciousness one possesses. So, collectively, humanity is understood to be at a third density consciousness. And our job, if you will, is to progress to fourth density. Now, for whatever reason, humans have a really hard time doing this because the last two cycles of about 26,000-ish years, very few people have ever progressed to fourth density. And here we are coming up toward the end of the third major cycle, and there's supposed to be some massive shift, if you will, and we are supposed to polarize to either fourth density, service to self, or fourth density, service to others. Now, keeping that in mind, how do you progress to service to others, which means you give of yourself to help others, if there is never anything to help with? If there's never any desecration of the planet, if there is never any oppression of another, or enslavement, or tribulation of another group of individuals, where do we, who are trying to give of ourselves to another cause, get to do that from? We have to have it. We have to have the adversity. We have to have the hardships and the ugly, because it is designed to polarize us. Now, evil does not exist past sixth density. So relax. There's far more good than there is evil, but evil is a great teacher. It is a beautiful teacher. And I know that is hard to see if you're just looking at it from the small personality, the human, small, limited perspective. But when you start to step back and look at the grander scheme of things, you see that I'm right. In order for us to give of ourselves, there has to be a cause to give to, which means that the cause has to be something of a desecration or of a taking from another in order to come in and try to help. So the evil is allowed to progress. Now, on that same note, the evil is looking to progress as well to fourth density, but they're on a different road. Fourth density is just the love vibration. So you have service to self entities and service to others. And whether you love yourself or you love others the most, you are still progressing to fourth density. So from its perspective, there's no right or wrong. Doesn't matter. It's whatever the soul wants to experience, the individual soul. If the individual soul wants to dance in the dark for a while, fine. Or if the individual soul wants to live in the light, it's fine also. So whether you dance in the dark or play around in the light, it's irrelevant. The point is that you got to pick a side. And so these conflicts and these adversities that are happening on the planet right now, these huge shades of ugly, they are simply designed to help us polarize to one or the other. Do we want to take more and take more and take more because it serves us and we're only worried about us? Or do we want to go in and try to help and give ourselves because all of these ugly things are motivating us to care, to give a fuck of something outside of us? That's what it's designed to do. Anything that is desecrated can be made holy again. It can be purified again. But we need the motivation to do it. And the motivation doesn't come unless we feel compelled, unless it exists in the first place. So relax with things. Contribute where you feel called to contribute. But keep in mind that this is all about just polarizing so we can progress to the next density. Fourth density is where we need to be, and probably should have been here a while back, which is why you have all these star seeds coming in, all these higher evolved souls coming in as spiritual teachers and of bringers of the light and the joy and the ingenious kids with their high vibrations. They're coming in to help guide the collective humanity, because the collective humanity has been kind of trapped in this third density. They're a little bit of a dick and they're a little bit of an angel. They do a little bit of good, they do a little bit of bad. They service themselves a little bit and they service others a little bit. But you got to polarize to one or the other. Now, if you've never heard of the collection of channeled works called Law of One, I highly recommend it. It is crucial in spiritual expansion and understanding. And I'm summing up the overall gist of that huge collection. So by no means am I touching on all the good stuff. But the bottom line is we are supposed to progress. And in order to progress, if you want to give of yourself, you have to have a cause to give to, which means adversity has to occur, which means desecration has to occur. But from a high perspective, it's still sacred because we're all still sacred. But it's just a teaching tool. It's just designed to motivate us. Okay? So if you know the game, you don't get played. It's if we stick over here and we don't know what to do and we're kind of getting apathetic and like, I don't know, I'm going to die soon anyway, so I won't have to worry about it. I think you're going to be sorely disappointed if you think that when you die, you get to go to heaven, which is a big house on the beach, and sit and do nothing. That is not what a soul would want to do with all eternity. The angels, who certainly could sit on a beach for all eternity, still look to help because they love and they want to give of themselves, and they have a grand perspective of not violating our free will. But they're there for the asking because they want to help. And if you are fortunate enough to make it to heaven, to those high heavenly realms, you're not going to be lazy and selfish. You're going to be of giving, which means you're going to want to help too. And that's how a soul continues to progress. And those who are service to self entities, they continue to progress too, just serving themselves. So think of like a whole planet full of Darth Vaders. Yee. Nonetheless, service to self, looking for them to get ahead and at whatever expense necessary. But eventually they progress. They get evil and evil and eviler, and they get to sixth density, and then they take a step back because they're very, very wise at sixth density, and they say, look at that. Everything I do to others, I'm doing to myself. And they shift. And they automatically become service to others oriented because they understand. But their souls got to dance in the dark for that time, got to feel that seductive power over someone else, that ego, got to feel that and experience that. And that's what that soul wanted to experience. And there are souls who want to help those souls experience it, so they agree to be oppressed by those evil souls. And likewise, the evil souls, well, I should rephrase, the souls that are dancing in the dark need something to go against, And you have the souls that are willing to be oppressed, and the souls who are doing the oppression also recognize that in these souls being oppressed, they yearn for something. They yearn to help others to get themselves out of this so that they can help others who are being oppressed too, because they hate it. And so the evil ones, the ones who are dancing in the dark, are actually polarizing these guys to help others. So do you see that they're both being polarized by working together in the conflict? Now, once you recognize that the conflict is just part of a teaching tool, you can choose to transcend it. It isn't about fighting anything or giving anything an opportunity to be imprisoned or jailed or pay for what they did. No. It's not what it's about. It's about transcending the need to experience the suffering and the conflict, because you've grown as a soul and you recognize, because you're a light worker and you get it. That's what it's about. So, when you see the crazy going on around you on this planet right now, keep in mind that it is designed to motivate us, either to become more uncaring of the desecration of the planet and others, or more caring of it. Either one is fine. And if you stop, for those who are service to others oriented, if you stop trying to fight the bad guys, stop trying to make them pay, and you just transcend it, you'll see that they will just move on their own journey, and there will always be those to oppress. There will always be those to enslave, because there are souls who are coming in specifically to be oppressed by these negative entities, so that the negative entities can continue to polarize as well. Everything, though, is in perfect working order. Everything is. But you won't see it at third density consciousness. You got to move out of it. You got to get to fourth density. And then to fifth. And yeah, it's ongoing. All right, so hopefully this clarifies a little bit for you, answers some questions. And again, that collection of channel materials I mentioned earlier is called The Law of One, and it's available for free online or on the YouTube channels on multiple different sources. You can hear it play it in the car while you drive if you want, but I highly recommend it. And if my message or I resonate with you, feel free to check out my other videos, and I also have a book currently on Amazon titled Calling All Dreamers. Feel free to check it out, and we will talk later. Good luck to you on your journey. Namaste.